And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb-bearing seed. To you it shall be for food. Genesis 1:29. Man did eat angels' food. He sent them meat to the full. Psalm 78:25. Everyday Manna with Lisa.
We have a special surprise for you. We have a brand new, this is the launch of it, the Around the Table Cookbook from Everyday Manna. This is something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. And I finally was able to accomplish it. And this is not your traditional book. And we'll get into it in just a little bit tonight, but this is the, it's a menu-based book. It is the, it has 45 menus in it, and it lists whatever the menu is, and then all of the recipes that you will need from start to finish is right there for you. So we're going to get into that. We're cooking live tonight. We're out here. We're prepping. I've got pretty much everything prepped. Still got a few things still here to do. So get on the phone and let everyone know, any of your friends and neighbors that like to watch Everyday Manna, that we are debuting the brand new From Our Table to Yours cookbook. It's 45 different menus, full complete menus from start to finish. We've got everything from chicken to beef to meatless to breakfast to crock pot meals, everything in here completed for you. I have done this program now. We are starting our 10th year, which does not seem possible to me that we are doing, that I've done 10 years of this show. It has flown by like that. Seems like yesterday we were launching the Everyday Manna show. And many of you have heard me talk about this before, but you know, we've been in television now for 22 years. We're starting our 23rd year. And I was a busy person. I host the Living Faith Now show and handle a whole lot of stuff behind the scenes, oversee, pretty much the day-to-day operations of the station. And so I was a busy gal. But years ago, my father-in-law and I talked about doing a cooking show because I have always loved to cook, and we were operating out of the little A-frame down there, and we just did not have the space to do a set. I'm on a set. This is not my kitchen. I get asked that a lot. No, this is not my home kitchen. This is a set here at the studios. And we didn't have the room for that. But we talked about it, and tossed the ideas back and forth. Well, years later, he passed away. And a couple of years after he passed away, God started dealing with me about the cooking show. And I was like, Lord, I want to make sure this is you, because I did not need another job. I didn't need something else to do here at the ministry. And I just prayed about it. And I was like, God, what does cooking have to do with Christian television? It was a sincere question. And I really felt like I heard the Spirit of the Lord speaking to my heart, saying that people that would not watch Christian TV would stop and watch a cooking show and then stay tuned for other ministry programs. And I can't tell you at the number of people over the last 10 years that have said those very words to me. I never used to really watch Christian TV, but I saw your program and I loved it, and now I'm watching all kinds of different ministry programs that we have here on Living Faith Television. And inside the cooking show, we insert little ministry clips and little nuggets of the Word inside the program, hence the name Everyday Manna. We're getting spiritual food as well as physical food. I love doing the program. I meet people on an everyday basis. I talk to people every day that tell me how much they enjoy the show, or they've learned this, or they're enjoying, or whatever the case would be. I've had people tell me that because of watching Living Faith Television, they have now come to know the Lord. And that is the purpose of why I do this program. That is the purpose of why I work so hard to get these cookbooks together for you. You're not purchasing a cookbook. I want to say that up front, right straight ahead. You are supporting Christian television. We are helping Living Faith TV to go around the world. I hear from people all over this globe. We are now streaming 24/7 on the Living Faith Television website. So anybody, anywhere in the world that has internet access can watch Living Faith Television. They can hear the gospel. I hear from people in Italy. I hear from people in Jamaica. I hear from people in South America. I hear from people all over that watch Living Faith TV. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for enabling us to do that, for helping Christian TV to go around the world. And that is why we are here tonight and this week. We are raising funds so that this ministry can continue operating. It doesn't just happen, folks. It doesn't just miraculously happen that the power company says, oh, you're a Christian TV station. You don't have to pay that $10,000 power bill for the tower site up here. And then I've got one in Harlan, and I've got one in Bluefield, as well as the studio here. It's astronomical at just the operating expenses of this ministry. So we come to you and we ask you to help support Christian TV, and in return, you will get to know that people are going to be in heaven with us one day because of you being a part of Christian television. Cooking. We're going to start out with what is one of my most favorite things. We're going to start out with dessert because life is short. You should eat dessert first. So we're going to start out with a 5-flavor pound cake. Now, if I had to pick my favorite type of cake, it hands down would be pound cake. I love pound cake because I don't like a really, really sweet frosting covered pound cake. Now, this recipe has a glaze included, but I can promise you it is just as good without that glaze. So in my mixer, you don't have to use the stand mixer. If you have the little hand mixer, you can use that. But just for ease of this, I'm going to use this tonight. I've got 2 sticks of butter, some sugar, and then just a little bit of the solid shortening. And I am going to beat that together. Start it out on low speed. And it is very important when you are baking with this kind of a recipe, that you this is called creaming it together, that you do that first, because what happens is the sugar crystals cut through the butter and break it up, and then it incorporates it all together, and it'll become light and fluffy, and you'll see what I mean in just a minute. I do like my stand mixer. I got one as a wedding gift when Mike and I got married in 1995, that many years ago. So I've had mine at home for 22 years and it's still going strong. I do prefer, and I don't typically, I don't talk about brands and that kind of thing, but now I do. This is a KitchenAid, and it's the one I recommend. I know they're a little pricey, but I promise you, you'll have it forever. You'll be passing it down to your kids. Now, if you will notice, if they'll zoom in here, you can see that the texture is much different. It's light and it's fluffy. So we're going to turn that on low. You can get through at 1-888-275-9534. I'm going to add some eggs. I've got 5 eggs. I'm going to add them one at a time. And when I see that there's really no more streaks of yellow pretty much in there, I'll add another one. And it's important that you do it one at a time. That allows it to fully get incorporated. So we're going to add them one at a time. 1-888-275-9534. It's getting creamier and creamier. Add another egg. Preheat your oven to 325 degrees. I like baking this in a bundt pan. I'm going to add my last egg. But you can use loaf pans. If you're going to use a loaf pan, the regular standard smaller loaf pan, you'll need 2. All right, that looks good. Take a spatula ever so often and just kind of scrape down the sides, because sometimes it doesn't get all of it incorporated. All right, now I've got 3 cups of flour, and I'm going to add some baking soda to it, and I'm just going to whisk that together. Just let that sit. Now here's where your 5 flavors come in. Don't have to add all 5. If you don't have it, that's okay. You can just, double up on one of the other ones. This is almond extract, and I'm going to add a teaspoon of each one. Now I can only find my half teaspoon measure, so I need to do 2. So I've got almond extract, 1-888-275-9534, coconut extract, which is my favorite. I love anything with coconut in it. I've got butter extract, even though I added butter. And by the way, with my recipes, I always use unsalted butter, always. Then I've got good old vanilla, a teaspoon of vanilla, and lemon extract. That's why it's called 5 flavor pound cakes. Easy to do. You cannot mess this one up. I'm going to stir those in together with the eggs and the butter. Now, I'm going to add, I've got a cup of milk, just regular 2% milk. Move my phone out of the way. And I'm going to add the flour and the milk slowly. Let's find a little spoon here. Well, I'll just get a little measure cup here. A little bit at a time. If you add all this at once, you're going to have a mess on your hands. So I just add a little bit at a time, and then a little bit of milk. Just alternate. Little flour. I'll turn it down just to one more there. Little bit more milk. You can get through at 1-888-275-9534 for your copy of the brand new, first time on TV, the menu book, From Our Table to Yours. You can get your copy tonight. We've got phone operators back there. We're live here in the studio. You're watching me do this from start to finish. Now I'm going to scrape down the sides, give it one more little stir, and then we'll put it in our baking pan. Whoops. It's all right, it's live. You see me do it. Now, get all your stuff off your paddle. If you've got using the paddle adjustment or the paddle attachment on your stand mixer. We've got a lot of things coming your way tonight. We've got a Szechuan stir fry with peppers, chicken. We've got parsley pesto over steamed broccoli. We've got mock filet mignon. We've got an eggplant pasta sauce. We've got all kinds of food ready to cook tonight. Now I have a bundt pan again, and I've sprayed it with the non-stick baking spray. Get your oven preheated to 325. You see how pretty that batter is? It just pours right in there. We are live here tonight. I've got phone operators going. I've got 2 lines open, Sheila just told me. Because I'm not back there where they are, so I can't see. I can see a couple of people, but I've got 2 lines right now at 1-888-275-9534. And there you go. I'm going to give you a little hint with any kind of cake batter that you're doing. When you're done, spread out the top. And then take your cake pan and do this 3 or 4 times. What that does is settles the batter, and it brings all the air bubbles to the top, and you'll have a smoother cake. So we're going to get that in the oven at 325 degrees for an hour and a half. I'm going to let somebody put that in the oven. And we're going to get started on the mock filet mignon. Now I love, love, love this dish. It is so easy and so good. Filet mignon is a good steak. Let's be honest, it's good. I personally, it's not my favorite because I don't think it has a whole lot of flavor. So I add in some flavor to this dish, and it tastes wonderful. And it is mock filet mignon. It's using ground sirloin. We got what? One line open at 1-888-275-9534. We're going to make mock filet mignon using, let me get my other board because you know I don't like to put raw meat on my wooden boards. Another little hint for you. If you'll put down, you know we get these little grippy things to open jars and so forth. If you'll just put that down and put your board on there, it stabilizes it a little more. I've got about 1.5 pounds of lean ground sirloin here. I've got about, let's see, I've got 7 pieces of bacon here that I have partially cooked. We're going to do bacon wrapped. Now, I've only cooked this in the microwave for about 2 minutes because I don't want to cook it all the way. I still want it to be, you know, firm enough that it'll cook, but yet pliable enough that I can wrap it around the filet mignon. We're going to add some rice. We're going to stretch our meat. This is a very economical meal that is delicious, and your family will love it, or your company will love it. It's most definitely fancy enough to serve to company. We're going to add in some wonderful little ingredients here. We're going to add some salt and pepper. We're going to add some Worcestershire sauce. Heard somebody say one time, "What's this here sauce?" 2 lines open right now. Some garlic, some pre-chopped up garlic. You know, and this is something that I do even when I'm not live. When I'm cooking at home, I prep my ingredients ahead of time, and that way when it's time to cook, it's pretty much done, and it's so much easier. Then 1 onion. Get my good knife here. We're going to dice up a little onion. I can't really see the phones. Is there any lines, Bobby?
Yeah,
1 line right now at 1-888-275-9534. This is the mock filet mignon that is in the cookbook. Now on your onion, you will want to dice it very small in little tiny little pieces. You can mince it, you could chop it in your food processor if you wanted to, or you can just use a knife and mince it up really fine. We're going to bake these in the oven. This is a pretty good size onion, so I don't think I need the whole thing. I think I'll just use half. 2 lines right now at 1-888-275-9534. I think I only need half of onion. This is a white onion, but you could use a yellow onion, a red onion, little green onions, little scallions, whatever you have on hand would work. Put these in there. And then clean hands are your best friend when you're cooking. Clean hands. Mix all that together. Don't over mix it now. Just incorporate all your ingredients together gently. I can't see. I think I see one person that I can see that can take a call. 2 lines. Okay, Bobby's telling me back there. Now, once you get it pretty well all incorporated together, now I have a baking sheet here that I have put a baking rack on it. I've lined it with nonstick foil, which I love that stuff. I can't imagine cooking without it. I am going to get a pot of water here on to boil. Let's go ahead and get that on for our broccoli. Now, I've got 7 pieces of bacon, so I'm going to make 7 of these. And you can, if you wanted to, I get asked a lot of questions, you know, how do you cook for just 1 or 2 people? Well, one thing you can do is make these up, wrap the bacon around there, and freeze them. And then when you're ready to cook them, just take them out of the freezer. Make your patty about 1 inch thick. Take 1 piece of bacon that you've partially cooked. 3 lines right now. I have to make that a little smaller. The bacon's not going to wrap around it. 3 lines, because you know filet mignon is not a big steak. It's a little tiny steak, usually. Then wrap it around there. Take a toothpick. Just remember to remove the toothpicks before you serve it. I have sprayed that rack with nonstick cooking oil and just place those on there. Get a little more and keep working. They call them back there. This is all in the brand new, From Our Table to Yours, the menu cookbook. It has complete menus from start to finish in it. I'll go over some of those in just a second with you. Let me get these going. 4 lines right now at 1-888-275-9534 for your copy of the brand new menu-based book. This one has 45 menus, including some crock pot menus, because I know I'm a busy working mom like a lot of you moms and dads out there, and my crock pot oftentimes, especially when school is in session, is my best friend, because I have 2 teenage boys, as you know, that are going in different directions. Aaron plays basketball, and he's got either games or practice every night just about. Austin plays the bass, and he has lessons. They're both, on a drama team in school. Austin's a senior this year. He's graduating, so we're doing all kinds of that stuff, as well as working. So I need menus that are easy to do, that I can prep ahead. I can get them, cook and feed my hungry teenage boys, as well as my husband and myself. So I like to do easy things. Bobby says there's 2 lines right now that you can get your copy of this brand new book. So I don't have a sous chef back there, so you get to watch me do this from start to finish. I don't have that magic oven that has it ready for you when you open it. You're watching me do this from start to finish. It would be nice sometimes, I think, to have that little oven, but nah. I think I'd miss doing it, to be honest with you. I think if I had the sous chefs behind the scene, I think I would still miss it. What you see me do on the program, you see me doing. I don't have anybody behind the scenes cooking ahead. It's me. So we're doing it together. And I do that because I want you to see that you can do this. Anybody could make this meal. Absolutely anyone who wants to cook could make this meal. And Valentine's Day is coming up just in a few short little days. And this would be a wonderful meal for Valentine's Day. Because let's be honest, filet mignon for 2 filet mignons would be about probably $30 at least for 2. They're good, and this, is just pennies because you're using ground beef. I get the 90%, so it's lean, mixing in some wonderful little flavors.
2 lines over.
Okay, 2 lines right now. So you can do this for pennies, and the broccoli's wonderful. Make that pound cake with it. And on the menus, if maybe I've cooked something with that meal that you don't want or you don't have, and you want to change it out, obviously you can. I'm just giving you a jumping off point of menu planning, because I do find with a lot of people that truly is one of the hardest things for them to do, is the menu planning. So I'm out of bacon, but I got enough to do one more. So let's do one more that won't be bacon wrapped. That's okay. And you could use turkey bacon if you wanted to. Be perfectly fine. When you're making this for this meal or hamburgers or anything, don't press too hard. Use a gentle hand. Otherwise, they're going to be like little hockey pucks, and you don't want that. So there you go. There are our wonderful, wonderful mock filet mignons. Let me wash my hands. We'll get those in the oven. 1-888-275-9534. Let me get rid of this. My sink is overflowing. That's okay. 3 lines right now at 1-888-275-9534. So let's get these in the oven over here. It's preheated to 450 degrees. They need to cook about 30 minutes or until they're cooked through. These are our little mock filet mignons. They are just using the ground sirloin. I mixed in some rice to give it a little bit of body, a little bit of texture, a little bit of moisture, and it also stretches the meat a little farther. We've got Worcestershire sauce, salt and pepper, and just all kinds of goodies in there. But now remember, we did put that bacon on there with toothpicks. So you will need to make sure that you remove the toothpicks before you serve it, because you don't want your guests, or yourself for that matter, to bite into a toothpick. That's hot, so I'm gonna have to wait just a second on that one. We'll get them in just a second. But we'll get some plates. If somebody will bring me some plates, we'll serve this up. And our cake is done. The very first thing we did. Now, I personally prefer it plain, but a lot of people like a glaze to go on top of their cake. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and then I'm going to serve it alongside. I need to find a little whisk. I wasn't there. We go. All right, in this pot, I have just some water. I'll try to move that so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to add some sugar. We're basically going to make a simple syrup. And we're going to serve this alongside our cake with our flavorings that we flavored the cake with. Same measurements, a teaspoon of each one. I don't want to spill these, so I've got a tablespoon here, but I know it's 1/3 of this. Phone lines are jammed. I'm looking back there and don't see one, so you can get your copy of the brand new cookbook from Everyday Manna, from our table to yours, all the recipes that you've seen me cooking. Oops, too much. Oops, let's put this back. That's what happens when you talk and do everything at the same time. That one, almond. Oh, I love almond extract. We're just going to bring this to a boil and then let it reduce just a little bit. And then I'm actually going to put it in a little serving to go alongside it. If you want to glaze the cake while it's warm in the pan, just pour it over it and let it soak up and then turn it out and serve it. I'm going to serve it on the side because I personally prefer mine just plain. I'm kind of one of those people that just like mine plain. But my family likes it glazed, so we do it both ways. But the way I like it is just like this. Oh, I just love it.
Thank you for watching Everyday Manna with Lisa. This program is made possible by viewers like you. Your support is continually needed to keep Christian programming on the air. Please send your best financial gift to Living Faith Television in care of Everyday Manna, P.O. Box 1867, Abingdon, Virginia 24212.